Motoring along a modern highway in southeastern Washington, enjoying the travel comforts of the 20th century, but away from the madding crowd called civilization, we gaze with admiration upon the colorful panoramas of the distant past that confront us at every turn in the road. Most of the natural wonders of Washington State originated back in the age of the great glacier drift, when Mother Nature poured her colossal streams of ice and snow over the earth, thereby cutting huge canyons and carving records in stone that tell us today of what was going on in the world long before the advent of mankind. To an expert geologist, these fantastic formations reveal a chapter in earthly evolution as clearly as billboards reveal their advertisements to us. And although we do not pretend to be students of geology, even a superficial knowledge of the subject adds interest to travel in this part of the world. Not far from here, we come upon one of Mother Nature's most phenomenal manifestations, the so-called Dry Falls, where over a 400-foot precipice, about 3 miles wide, a prehistoric glacial torrent once thundered with the roar of many Niagaras. Strata on the walls of this huge abyss show 7 distinct lava flows through which the stream bed was cut, and some idea of the thundering waters that once poured into it is illustrated by Snoquality Falls, 100 feet higher than Niagara, and one of the scenic highlights of Washington State. In northwestern Washington, our natural wonder tour takes us to a region of snow-capped mountains, unexcelled for scenic grandeur, one of the most picturesque of which is Mount Shuksan, over 9,000 feet high, and said to be one of the oldest mountains in North America. Within the shadow of this snow-covered mountain, we enjoy an invigorating swim. And oddly enough, this snow-reflecting water is not as cold as it might appear. The summer temperature here varying between 60 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. One of the last of the 5 Washington volcanoes to fling forth its fires is Mount Baker, the Great White Watcher, rising to an altitude of 10,750 feet, with its vast fields of ice giving birth to 12 major glaciers. And now we come to what is unquestionably one of the world's most popular playgrounds, Mount Rainier National Park, where, as at Mount Baker, winter and summer convene for the pleasure of mankind. Here in the garb of summer, one may enjoy the sports of winter, not the least of which is skiing, or as our English friends would call it, sheeing. Washington State is favored with a climate which permits one to go from sea level to ski level in a few hours. And although skiing in this flimsy attire at first thought might appear a little extreme, it has become desirable as well as popular at Mount Rainier in the summer season, when the thermometer has risen as high as 80 degrees Fahrenheit. The usual summer temperature, however, is around 70 degrees, and this is not warm enough to melt all of the huge blanket of snow that perpetually covers glorious Mount Rainier, one of the world's most picturesque mountains. Incidentally, the annual snowfall on Mount Rainier is 2 to 3 times greater than that of Switzerland. Vying in popularity with skiing is an amusing sport known as tin pan sliding, although there is no evidence of tin being used in the preliminaries, which necessitate the waxing of one's breeches for smoother sliding. now that the wax is cool and the gang's all here, let's go! Silently looking down upon this trivial diversion is Mount Rainier, majestic and eternal, covering 100 square miles of territory, with its peak rising 14,408 feet above sea level. Every angle of this world-famous mountain reveals a diversified grandeur, resplendent in a perpetual mantle of snow, forming the source of 27 glaciers, more than all those of Switzerland. From Sunrise Lodge, nestling close to Mount Rainier, we may study at close range one of these innumerable glaciers, which is said to move a few inches each day, finally melting into torrential streams, such as the one that pours over nearby Yatra Falls. And it is in this rugged setting that the black or cinnamon brown bear goes forth in all his primitive glory, fully protected from the guns and other destructive weapons of human beings. In these days of human strife, when a whole generation hesitates on the brink of war, and the destiny of millions of innocent mortals may be determined by the wishes of a few men, such scenes as this turn us back to our faith in Mother Nature. Perhaps the most inspiring scene in this part of the world is a sunrise on Mount Rainier. In midsummer, between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, the first pink of dawn touches the peak of the mountain. And then, with the passing of a comparatively short period of time, this pink glow broadens, penetrates, and radiates, until the whole mountaintop becomes a palette of color, with the shadows of dawn descending proportionately as the sun rises. Verily, this is one of the grandest manifestations of nature to be seen upon the earth, and to us it is the most impressive of all the natural wonders of Washington State.